Marvel Cinematic Universe has quietly laid the groundwork for its own version of Wolverine in some key ways. Before the long-awaited X-Men reboot officially takes shape, the MCU timeline has already been dropping breadcrumbs that point toward the eventual arrival of its own take on Logan, aka Wolverine. Through various revelations, introductions, and details, Marvel Studios is building a subtle but intentional foundation. Wolverine has been one of the most iconic and enduring characters in comic book movie history, thanks largely to Hugh Jackman's portrayal across 20th Century Fox's X-Men franchise. First appearing in X-Men 2000, Jackman went on to play the character for nearly 2 decades, culminating in Logan 2017, widely regarded as one of the best superhero films ever made. Though Fox's version existed outside the MCU, Marvel Studios now controls the X-Men film rights and has gradually opened the door for their integration, including Jackman's return to the role in Deadpool and Wolverine. One of the clearest signs that the MCU is preparing for Wolverine and the broader arrival of the X-Men is the introduction of mutants. The most notable early example is Ms. Marvel 2022, where Kamala Khan is revealed to possess a mutation in her genes, directly name-dropping the term and accompanied by a brief nod to the classic X-Men theme. Later, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness introduced Earth 838's Charles Xavier, played once again by Patrick Stewart, officially acknowledging the existence of mutants in the multiverse. Additionally, Namor in Black Panther, Wakanda forever refers to himself as a mutant, further cementing that mutation is a recognized phenomenon within the MCU. These examples suggest that mutants are already woven into the universe's lore. The door is clearly open for new characters like Wolverine to make their debut without relying entirely on alternate dimensions or future events, creating narrative space for their eventual emergence in the mainline timeline. With Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's iconic version of Logan is officially a recognized part of the MCU's ever-expanding multiverse. Though Jackman's Wolverine originates from the 20th Century Fox timeline, the multiverse saga allows for various alternate versions of familiar characters to appear in MCU continuity. While it is specified that Wolverine's death in Logan is still considered canon, that doesn't stop other Wolverine variants from appearing, as seen in Deadpool and Wolverine. This approach allows Marvel Studios to honor Jackman's legacy while laying the groundwork for a new version of the character in the primary MCU timeline. The multiverse explanation makes it easier to differentiate future versions of Wolverine without rewriting past continuity. Deadpool and Wolverine joke that Disney would have Jackman playing the role until he's 90, and while there have been no confirmed future appearances, it's likely that audiences have not seen the last of Jackman's Wolverine. Now confirmed. As a major part of the MCU multiverse, Jackman could readily appear in the MCU's future. One of the most iconic aspects of Wolverine's character is his skeleton and claws being laced with adamantium, a nearly indestructible fictional metal. For years, the MCU had no mention of it, with vibranium taking center stage in Black Panther and the Captain America films. However, this changed with the aftermath of Eternals. The climax of that film saw the celestial Tiamut frozen in stone by Circe, its body forming a massive island rising out of the ocean. In Captain America, Brave New World, it's confirmed that this celestial island is composed of adamantium. The metal's discovery naturally creates global conflict and interest, potentially setting the stage for Weapon X-style experimentation. In the comics, Wolverine was bonded with adamantium through government-backed procedures, and the MCU now has the setting, resources, and narrative precedent to follow a similar path. By introducing adamantium before Wolverine appears, Marvel is clearly setting the table for his eventual origin. It also implies that those with knowledge and access to this metal may already be engineering the next stage of human evolution. In She-Hulk, Attorney at Law Episode 2, the MCU included one of its most subtle but exciting Wolverine teases yet. While Jennifer Walters is browsing a fictional news website, eagle-eyed viewers spotted a clickable headline in the sidebar: "Man fights with metal claws in bar brawl." Though never explicitly addressed on screen, the reference is hard to ignore. It's hard not to connect this with Wolverine, thanks to his metal claws and many comic book bar fights, a classic motif for the character dating back decades. It also directly recalls the opening scene of the original X-Men 2000. Hugh Jackman's Logan is introduced, fighting in a cage match before deploying his signature claws after a fight breaks out in the bar. This Easter egg serves as a sly nod to Wolverine's presence in the MCU world, suggesting he may already exist under the radar. While small, this detail is part of Marvel Studios' growing breadcrumb trail toward introducing its own version of the iconic mutant. Whether it's a variant or the MCU's mainline Wolverine, the internet article tease proves that even every day, citizens in universe are beginning to encounter superpowered individuals with familiar abilities, including claws and unbreakable resolve. Marvel Studios has made it increasingly clear that the X-Men from 20th Century Fox's timeline are now canon within the Marvel multiverse. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness featured Patrick Stewart reprising his role as Professor X, complete with his iconic yellow hoverchair, in the alternate universe of Earth 838. Then, in the Marvel's post-credits scene, Kelsey Grammer returned as Beast, confirming even more characters from the Fox universe still exist across dimensions. It doesn't end there. Marvel confirmed that Avengers Doomsday will include appearances from several Fox-era X-Men, including Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Magneto, Mystique, and Professor X. This firm acknowledgement of Fox's mutant characters in the multiverse not only honors their legacy, but also strategically opens the door to differentiate the MCU's own versions moving forward. With this groundwork laid, audiences will better understand when Marvel introduces new iterations of beloved characters, Wolverine included, as part of Earth 616. It's a careful balance between nostalgia and reboot strategy, using the multiverse to transition from old favorites to fresh faces seamlessly within the MCU's larger framework. By presenting more than one Wolverine in a single film, Marvel familiarizes audiences with the idea that Logan is not a one-version hero. This approach reflects the multiverse strategy used for Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, now applied to the X-Men universe. These non-Jackman versions also serve as proof of concept. Audiences will accept a new face in the role, provided the storytelling remains strong. With the multiverse actively introducing different Logans, it's only a matter of time before Earth 616 debuts its definitive version. New actor, new origin, but the same unbreakable claws and berserker rage. Long before the word mutant was ever uttered in the MCU, subtle references to Wolverine's origins were already embedded within early films. In The Incredible Hulk, 2008, the opening montage outlines Bruce Banner's involvement with a version of the Super Soldier program, hinting at experimental military projects with deep roots. Notably, this sequence briefly flashes documentation tied to the Weapon Plus program, a term comic book readers immediately recognized. In Marvel Comics lore, Weapon Plus is the overarching initiative that produced not only Captain America, but later evolved into Weapon X, the Black Ops division responsible for experimenting on Logan and bonding his skeleton with adamantium. This early Easter egg suggests that elements of the Weapon X legacy have been canon in the MCU all along, waiting to be revisited. With adamantium now confirmed to exist thanks to Captain America, Brave New World, the stage is fully set. Whether through flashbacks or new characters, the infrastructure is already in place to introduce Wolverine's origin within a government-sanctioned program. It's a narrative seed planted years ago, now ready to grow into one of the MCU's most anticipated characters. Despite not yet owning the rights to the character, the MCU has been teasing Wolverine since the very beginning.